So my biggest thing now is I don't know who's saucier, because I think there's three people that are on that level of sauce. And depending on how far you're into some of the content, you may not have seen all the sauce yet, but
Yeah.
Gojo for sure, Sung Jin Woo from Solo Leveling, and Urek Mazino from Tower of God. Those three, I don't know who's saucier. I don't know. I have no idea. Because Urek is a problem. Like,
Urek is saucy.
he's a whole problem. Like, bro, what? He was like, what's that?
Mazino.
Like, he was like, you don't know who I am, bro? Like, he has that whole vibe. Like, bro, I'm the one, bro. Like, I'm it. I'm the guy. And then, like Sung Jin Woo, we call him Sauce Jin Woo on our reads. Like, that's Sauce Jin Woo. He's all about it. He's just saucy as hell.
I love
like,
me
bro,
some woo woo.
Yeah, not the woo woo. Can I woo woo
He's
woo?
a woo woo.
Yo, that's hilarious. So I don't know between those three. I'm nervous about Solo Leveling becoming an anime, though. I don't know if
You
I
have
don't know.
no idea.
I want
agree.
it. I want it to be an anime, but I'm nervous on
Yes.
who could actually do it, because it's gonna need a budget,
Justice.
like a really big budget to do.
Yeah.
So
I
don't
think
know.
while reading Solo as well, it's like sometimes when you're reading it, it's actually like when you're reading it in your head, you're animating it yourself as you're reading it.
Right.
Because the panels itself are like dope.
Yeah.
They just pop up off the page, and like in your head as the sequences are going, you're just imagining what they are going to look like.
Facts.
So I think what will be the worst letdown is me already having this bomb animation that I already played in my head, and then they do it and it doesn't look like that at all.
Facts. I mean, here's my thing. I think so. Being in film, there's cheap, good, and fast, but you can only pick two. That's how film works. You can either have it cheap and good, but guess what? It's not going to be fast. If you want it fast and good, it's not going to be cheap. Like, so you have to. So in productions in general, it's kind of like a similar thing. So when you're looking at like Jujutsu Kaisen is a rare scenario. You had 23, 24 episodes of an anime first season. And almost every episode was a banger. Like, every episode had some kind of action, comedy, some kind of drama. Voice acting was on point. Animation was gorgeous. Every episode. Even the baseball episode, even though it wasn't like a fully crazy episode, it wasn't a filler. There was stuff that was going through it that connected episodes. And even in that, the animation didn't falter. But but from what I heard, they had spent a really long time on Jujutsu Kaisen's first season. So as opposed to, let's say, a weekly shonen like Boruto or Black Clover or One Piece, where they're relying on filler episodes to get ad revenue to fund other episodes that need the actual crazy animation.
Correct.
So with Solo, it's like, okay, I'll give you an example. Tower God. The early chapters of Tower God in the webtoon, you know, the illustration wasn't, it was whatever, Like you draw better than I do, like, cool. I get what's going on, And as it progresses, you see the art style get better and better and better. But but early on, that compared to the anime looked better to me in a great fashion to me. And I loved how they animated stuff, and I was like, "Ooh, I like this."
Yeah.
Solo Leveling is a different beast. It looks like you need it to at least be that. Yes. So I'm like, how do you animate that without a crazy budget or having a ton of time to do it?
Yeah. They don't need to rush that at all. I wouldn't suggest them to rush that at all.
Yeah.
Like, take your time. I would wait. I will patiently wait for them to do that correctly. Don't take your time. I am not going to be mad at you.
Who would
Just
you
don't hurt my feelings.
who would you want to animate that series though?
I would say yes, only because there's certain fights that I want to see animated.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain fights that I just want. Say, well, I don't want to. I don't want to spoil because people might want to watch
Right, right,
read
right.
it themselves. But it's like the National Hunter
Right.
and one person. I would love to see that fight
Mm-hmm.
just in real life.
Okay.
Wu had a lot of great fights, even when he was in the other world. It's like I just want to see how he would do animated.
Mm.
But again, while you're reading it, you're already, like I said, coming up with the sequences in your head of what it is going to look like,
Right.
or what it should look like at least. So again, like
Right.
it's
Is
like a
there
catch 22. Do I
is there a
want them to do it and not
particular
get?
is there a particular studio that you would want to maybe do the animation?
Mhm.
Like you're like, ooh, like this would be a good like. You may not know the studio off the top of your head, but like if there's an animator, like, ooh, if the people that did this anime could do this.
Wit. I would
Wit.
think Wit would do a good job with it.
Mm.
I say that because they have been very much consistent with all the work that they've done,
Yeah.
hands down. So I will say Wit. I'll let them.
Yeah, you know, it's so funny because we were talking about this on the cyber hype, and I was like, while Mappa has really good moments for sure,
Mhm.
like obviously what they did with Tower with God of High School was incredible with its fight sequences and the first person stuff and the mocap, really dope.
Yeah.
But then the aesthetic, I'm like, I don't know if they can pull the aesthetic off. And then you look at something darker like Jujutsu Kaisen, which is darker, and which Mappa killed. But
They killed it.
then
Yeah.
you look at AOT season 4, and I think Wit does like all of the combat and
Hmm.
like the move gear shit way better than
Yeah.
Mappa does.
It was
Way better.
cleaner. It was way cleaner.
It was way different. I was like, I think Wit Studios just does action like especially with swords and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
that's really a lot of what happens in solo. I was like, I think Wit would be a killer for solo leveling.
Yes. I think
Yeah,
so too. So you agree Wit would be a good
100%. I think so.
studio?
Yeah, I think Wit would
Yeah.
crush.